You're in.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great, great.
Good. How's everything going Chicago wise?
Chicago is a lovely city, but it's chilly at the moment.
Yeah.
Kind of probably very similar to Hamilton. It's
Oh,
very overcast out here right now. So
same Z's.
yeah.
Yeah. When did you move out there?
Oh, last year, like a year ago, last month.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So
Nice.
it's been pretty. It's been nice. It's been nice living out here. Like it's much easier to travel and get around
Yeah.
the U.S. with here sort of being a major hub. Like you could get anywhere from here. It's super
Yeah.
easy. And I
I'm
just
sure.
take the train right into the airport. It's super easy.
And I think it's probably a little bit cheaper to even fly from the States.
Yeah, yeah. There's certain taxes and stuff I noticed that don't translate here. So
Gotcha.
I'm not complaining. It works out pretty well.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Hip Hop and Barbells.
This is dope. How long you been doing this for?
Oh my God. So I started this in 2023. Um, but I wasn't well, and so I
Mm.
had to stop for a little bit. And then I restarted, but like work gets so busy that sometimes I don't have the capacity to work on this.
Yeah.
But I want to pick it up again, and I just think there's a lot of value in like having conversations about health and wellness in the industry because if you look at some of the even like MCs, DJs that we've come up listening to, like
Mhm.
people having heart attacks in their 40s and like blood sugar issues, like they have
Yeah.
diabetes, like and like I don't know if some of this stuff is like a lack of information for them in terms of like how lifestyle impacts so much of like how our bodies respond.
Yeah.
So if these kinds of conversations can like even shift one person into a different direction in terms of how they live, then beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think within our industry because a number of us start so young in our youth and continue to just because some of us don't grow outside of that mindset, right? And they forget to do some of the key adulting things that are necessary that could extend or in a lot of cases pretty much save your life.
For sure.
So yeah, yeah, it's I think yeah, with especially in the arts, some people, if you're not cognizant of the required mindset, it just sneaks up on them, and then you have those issues that shouldn't be issues, right? Like heart attack at 40, just likely very much preventable.
For sure. And I think a lot of the time, like, again, it's like the stuff that you're doing in your 20s, like, once you hit, like, our age, you really can't be doing some of that stuff. It's something needs to shift, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. But
Super.
you've been in the industry for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for well over 25 years, professionally in just a little over 10 years now. So, yeah, it's been a fun journey.
Yeah. And for those who don't know who you are, if you want to tell them who you are, how you got started,
Cool.
because you are a very diverse artist. Like it's not just house music that you create, but also really beautiful hip hop beats as well. Back in the
Yeah.
day, you were just kill like you're still like I'm sure you're still making some sort of like. Are you still making hip hop beats?
Yeah, I mean, more privately, more than, not really. I haven't put
Releasing
out
it?
like a beat, like a full beat album, beat tape sort of thing in a while, but I don't think they'll ever leave me. So,
Yeah.
that's really how I started out was, you know, producing, making, boom bap type of beats, crate digging all the time for the samples. I realized, God, it's probably around when I was like 16 or 17 when I first got into that. and just realizing a lot of the samples, like I was hearing on Tribe Called Quest records, and on Marley Marl's records, were my dad's record collection, and that's sort of how it morphed into this thing where we are today with electronic music. So yeah, I started out with hip hop. My boy DJ Attic, Mr. Attic actually, we grew up in Brampton, and we were sort of just developing our craft. Like I had the equipment at the time, and then he went out and got an Sonic EPS 16 sampler and just ran with it. And we just got to that point where, I started becoming interested in house music around, the Ryerson days, Ryerson Radio 88.1. God, that must have been like, man, like 89, 90.
Were you a DJ
Around.
on Ryerson Radio?
No, I never DJ'd. I DJ'd on 89.5 just as a guest.
Oh, cool.
That's the UFT, right? UFT radio?
I think so.
CIUT, yeah.
Is that CFMU? Is that what that is? I can't remember.
Yeah, man, I can't remember because everything's so different now. But
Yeah.
Ryerson Radio was definitely where I first heard, like, oddly enough, people I call friends today, like Harry Chandler, Nick Holder, and Derek May's Strings of Life. I heard all that the first time on that station, along with jungle too. Like, I started making hip hop, and then that morphed into some jungle music,
Oh,
and then
really?
yeah, and then when
I
I
didn't know that.
yeah, the jungle, yeah, one of my first vinyl records is a drum and bass record.
Shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah. I should send that to you. It's funny.
You have some, yeah, you saw some of your beats? I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, yeah. It's on vinyl. That's only on vinyl. I never. Yeah. So
Damn.
so I did that, but it morphed into like house music, and I realized, like, with Attic going into the grassroots production team, probably heard of them with Ford Swift and Mr. from Lao. If you're familiar with Lao, he's so we all grew up in Brampton, and then he's like, yeah, man, I'm starting to make tracks for Dream Warriors and Choclair and Socrates, and around that time, I was just like, you know what, man, I'm just gonna follow this house music thing, and I'm glad I did that because it was really cool. Like in back in the day, you could be like this obscure 17, 18-year-old making house beats, gets pressed up of Acme Records and Markham, and they sell the records for you, and you got like a little chunk of change as a 17, 18-year-old each month.
Yeah.
Those were the days, and then, of course, downloading happened, like LimeWire, iPod, the whole industry changed around 2000, 2001, and I got divorced at that time too, so I was like, okay, I just entered the corporate world, mainly in banking and outsourcing, helping offshore jobs outside of North America to, the Philippines, Bali, and stuff, where the labor is 30 cents on the Canadian dollar. And I just did that for quite a while. And just, like, I enjoyed the work. I enjoyed learning business acumen related stuff from it. But I just knew I wasn't happy. So I just ended up in this place, like, after, it's good we're talking about health, because my uncle passed away of a heart attack at 41.
Oh,
And
wow, that's so
yeah,
young.
and when that happened, I just evaluated my entire life at that point in time. I was like, man, you know what? I'm not happy in this marriage. I'm not happy doing this corporate work. Like, I just started questioning things. I didn't up and just quit my job straight away, but I was like, I need to make some changes, and I'm glad I did. And then, 10 years after that, I really started getting into music, back into music production once again. And then from there, I got a really good opportunity to just go full time with music. That was 10 years ago. So
Do you treat production like a 9 to 5?
yeah, yeah. I think, I was thinking about the type of conversation we were going to have earlier today. I think routine is so important. I like a structure because I find not only does it help me be more creative, you know, Like when I'm trained my mind to be like, okay, yeah, you're gonna get up at 4:30 or 6. Um,
Wow, that's early.
yeah, you know what's funny about that? Like the 4:30 thing. I used to like when I was working a full time, normal corporate Canadian job, Canada job. I
Yeah,
was like, oh man, I don't know how people get up this early to do stuff. But once you start working for yourself
yeah,
and doing something you love, you're more motivated to find more time in a day. So
yeah.
for me, I did that, man. When I was like, yeah, I'm going after this music thing, I must have did that for a solid 3, 4 years. Getting up at 4:30, practice for the first 2 hours, and then meditate, read, go to the gym, and then by the time I got back home, it was like 9ish, 10 a.m.
That's productive.
10 to 6, just making beats, arranging beats, mixing records down, and it was just solid. It was just a nice, productive structure. And the thing about having a routine is even when you gig, right? Like obviously, like around, I'd say things were really starting to take off for me, like 2017, 2018. Um, I was gigging a lot more, and having a routine really grounds you, because you're like, okay, you gig and I don't know, you fly overseas or wherever, and you're, operating with 2 to 4 hours of sleep on average, depending on how many shows you got it on those weekends. And then by the time I got home, I was like, yo, I just want to get centered again and back into, something that keeps me productive and healthy at the same time.
For sure.
Yeah.
So if you're waking up at like 4:30, that's really productive though. If you're getting up at that time and getting that much done before 9 and then able to do 9 to 6, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But what time do you have to go to bed then if you're getting up at 4:30?
Yeah, that's the struggle, right? But
Yeah.
around that time, honestly, when I decided when I was full time with music, it was much easier to go to bed at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, because there was nothing I had to worry about in terms of, oh, I got to get back to work and deal with this email or presentation sort of thing. I was just focused on my music solely. So naturally, I mean, before going full time with music, um, I was doing the reverse. So I would get up at like 6:30 or 7, when most people get up, I guess. Do whatever light meditation, and then I was off to work. And that's the thing with a job, like when you're working for somebody else, it's like you're just held to the will of that schedule and structure. So sometimes I wouldn't get back home from work, from a corporate job, like 6 or 7 o'clock at night, depending on what was going on. And by the time I got home, because when I made the decision to go after music, I was like, cool, I'm going to dedicate 2 to 3 hours of time after I work out in the evening to music. And sometimes, I'll be honest, like it was a bit of a grind. Sometimes I would work on stuff, I'd fall asleep in my studio chair and have to get up the next morning only on 4 hours of sleep. But to me, at that time, it was worth it because now I enjoy a full, 6.5 to 8 hours of sleep on average.
Yeah, I
You
can't
know,
function on 4 hours of sleep.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's really bad. Yeah, like that whole you remember like that grind area, yo, you gotta grind and hustle,
No,
and it's like no,
that
like
was so bad.
yeah, like there's no that's not an enduring character. It
It's
really
it's
isn't.
not sustainable.
Right, it's not sustainable, and in the end, it just harms your health.
Absolutely.
Um, so yeah,
But
I was doing the reverse. I was finding the time after work and then grinding from there.
so when you do go and perform, is there anything that you do to kind of physically or mentally prepare yourself for your sets? Like, do you have routines or rituals that you have just to get you into the zone a bit?
Yeah, no, you know what? Honestly, I don't. I know some people do this. I know some people who pray before set and
Really?
they
Praying.
burn incense or sage or whatever. Like to me, I think I think the things that help you have a good performance gig wise is
Mm-hmm.
the work that happens when nobody's watching. So, so today I get up at like quarter to six, 6 o'clock, and those first 2 hours I'm practicing. I just get on the decks and practice, and and then I'll do my workout and then do production all day, pretty much. So when you do that consistently enough, I just I don't get nervous at all, or that's because that to me is where the preparation is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then once you're done your performance then, how do you kind of wind down or relax yourself?
Oh, that's easy. You know, I do I do like a good drink, and like I have mezcal on my rider, uh,
Nice.
along with coconut water though.
Wait,
I
what's
mean,
mezcal?
it's
Is that tequila?
yeah, it's an off branch of tequila. It comes from the
Okay.
agave plant still, but it's more
Ah,
smoky. Think
okay.
of a smoky, smoothed out version of tequila, and that gives you mezcal.
Okay.
But
So
honey, go ahead.
sorry, you drink. You still drink.
Yeah, yeah, but I would say in moderation.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
Get
trying to
drunk.
do what I used to do. Like, yeah, man, I got a whole bottle waiting for me. Let me kill that bottle.
Like get plastered.
Yeah, like I'm 52 years old. Like, I'm not trying to get wrecked like that. It's not
Uh-huh.
even necessary. So, but I enjoy a good drink and sharing that with friends or whoever is hanging out with me while I'm gigging. So
Yeah.
the one of the tricks there, Honey Dijon taught me was on her rider. She's like, yo, D, you gotta put that coconut water on your rider if you're gonna drink like that. And
Yeah.
it's amazing because you have coconut water while you're having it doesn't even feel like you drank because you're just so hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even wake up with hangovers anymore.
That's good. I was
Yeah.
gonna ask you how you recover from that then.
Yeah, no, but to your point, like the wind down is, I'll probably talk to a couple of friends or the promoter for a little bit, and then I'm just trying to get back to the hotel and sleep.
Do you fall asleep like immediately when you get back to the hotel?
Generally, yeah,
Yeah?
I can, I'm pretty skilled. I can fall asleep anywhere, like
Okay.
airport, hotel. I'm out within half an hour easily.
That's
Well,
amazing.
you know what
That's
helps, honestly? I do supplement. So,
okay. What do you
um,
supplement with, if you don't mind me
like
asking?
for sleeping, magnesium is really good.
Nice. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, just take that before you go to sleep. Um, Generally, it's pretty good. It's not to knock me out necessarily. It's to just make sure I have a nice sleep. I mean, sleep is just such a big deal because I used to snore a lot, like very loudly and very badly, and I got diagnosed with sleep apnea.
Mm.
And I think it's funny. I don't think a lot of men talk to this, and even some women that are their partners don't really encourage men to go get checked out for that. Like, I mean, I did a sleep study because when people tell you you snore, it's a bit embarrassing, right? Um, so
So many people snore.
yeah, I know, but like over the danger with sleep apnea,
Hmm.
if I'm sure you're familiar with it, but for those that aren't familiar, it you basically stop breathing
Hmm.
while you're sleeping. And what happens is your heart works harder because if you haven't been breathing for 30 seconds a minute, some cases over 2 minutes, they're called disruptive sleep events. So your heart's working harder, and what happens is your body, no one dies from sleep apnea during the moment, because your brain sends a nerve signal to say, get up, you're not breathing. So, if you got partners or people telling you you're kicking or wheeling your arms in your sleep, that's part of the indication because your brain's trying to wake your body up so you're breathing again. But it comes at a price. Over time, your heart's working harder, you're releasing cortisol, and because your heart is working harder, your testosterone goes down. Sorry, for men, and your blood pressure goes up, and you're releasing cortisol. So a lot of dudes develop a gut, and they think it's attached to not eating well and drinking too much, which is, not helping the case. But I can assure you, like got, after I did my second sleep study later in age, because the first one, they were like, no, you're okay. Um, Once I got diagnosed and I started the treatment, like I shed like 15 pounds
Damn.
within 6 months. My testosterone shot way up, which is awesome. and uh,
So, yeah.
and I just feel so well rested. And you actually, when your mind is rested and clear, you're even more creative.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So after your gigs, then, if you're able to fall right asleep, do you typically wake up feeling like pretty much like well rested,
Yeah.
not groggy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Feeling well rested. What the one thing I will admit, like it's hard to do the gym thing while you're on the road, but you could still be active, like do something small in your hotel room.
Go for a walk,
Go
like
for a walk too, like
yeah.
just something. Um,
And like
but
if you especially have back-to-back shows, I'm sure it's a little bit more taxing too, especially if you've traveled to a different city.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
But the good thing is, I, I I highly encourage that you still try and work out and or do some form of movement because it actually helps you sleep too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, you do a nice hit workout on that day. Man, I sleep so good. Every time I've done hit on that day, that night I always sleep super well.
So when you do your hit workout, like what kind of exercises, like what are what kind of volume is it?
Yeah, I keep my hit super simple. I
Okay.
try to do it twice a week, and I do it on a Stairmaster or elliptical,
Okay.
like for 15 to 17 minutes. And it's just, but so as you know, like you set one level and you do that for a minute, your base level, and then you just jump it up after a minute, and you do that for 2 minutes, like double steps on a stairmaster. Sorry, probably hearing the Chicago sirens going on.
That's okay.
Never a dull moment here, but yeah, you do that. I like to keep it simple on a stairmaster or elliptical, and I'm done.
Are you weight training as well when you're not on the road or?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've always been. I used to run track and field in my younger days, so I've always been a huge fan of resistance training. So yeah, like free weights, a mix of free weights and machines,
Okay.
and don't skip leg day. That's
No,
important too.
don't be doing that. So like what do your splits look like when you do your workouts?
Yeah, I'm on a 2 day, 1 day off
Okay.
repeat sort of thing. Um, I like that because it gives the major body parts, especially 72 hours of rest in between, so prevents any injury, as you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just works well for me. I will say I do not do hit after leg days. It's just
You're done.
it's done. And but that's an important piece too. Like I find hit much more effective right after the workout. I don't do it before. I like to do it when my heart rate is up too, to help burn more calories. So
And what is your favorite kind of exercise to do then? What's your favorite muscle group to work?
oh, I love doing back.
Yeah?
I love doing back. Yeah.
So what's your favorite exercise for your back?
Man, it's all, you know what? I was going to say the T-bar, but it's definitely the close grip lat pull down.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like actually with the bar, so it's more
With the
straight
bar.
on.
Oh, okay, so it's more
Yeah.
supinated grip. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's good.
And
Yeah, that's my favorite exercise actually.
what's your least favorite body part to work? And why?
I don't know. You know what? I think it's not that I dislike it. It's just taxing. It's leg days, man.
Anything like anything
Like
leg related?
it's well, you know how it is. You do like you're doing at least 14 to 16 sets. And it's not like because it's the largest muscle group, it's like you're moving the most amount of weight. At least I am. Like those days could be taxing, man.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Yeah. So what's your least favorite exercise for leg day?
I gotta say it's gotta be the deadlift, the stiff-legged
Really?
deadlift.
I love deadlifts.
You know why? You
That's my
know,
strongest lift. Like that. I love deadlifting.
I agree with the benefits, but man, it is. You know what's killer on it is when if you pull the hamstring, that's one
Or
thing.
your back.
Psychologically,
Yeah.
oh, that's the worst. I think that's the worst sort of thing to happen. Hamstring pull,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Do
But
you do you stay like more hypertrophy? Do you ever do like super high reps, super low? Like do you do strength? Like how do you switch up your program? Or do you
yeah,
switch up your program?
yeah, I try. So as a base, like I tried just to go with the guiding principle of major muscle groups is, you know, 2 to 3 exercises at about 3 sets each with between 8 and 10 reps.
Right.
And if I want to switch it up, what I'll do is not necessarily the rep range. Only, well, I shouldn't say that, with the exception of abs. Like I'll go between 10 to 15 on abs. Same thing with calves, right? Just because there's not a lot of different exercises you can do there. So I find switching up the reps really sort of shocks the muscle and you can,
Oh yeah.
get into things. But what I'll do for the major muscle groups is I'll just change the exercise order around. So, like for back, for example, I normally start with the pull down, and then go to T bar, and then the one arm row.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll start with the T bar, then go to the close grip pull down, and do a one arm dumbbell row versus the hammer strength one, the seated one. Yeah,
I like the hammer strength throws.
yeah, those are dope. I
Yeah.
do them one arm at a time. I don't do them both. Because
No,
I
neither
think
do I.
you can get more concentration.
Yeah, I prefer
Yeah.
that.
And just
Yeah,
focus on gluing your chest to the pad. So
for sure. And you said you ran track. You still doing any sort of running?
oh hell no, man. So I don't know if I ever told like I was on the same track team with Ben Johnson.
No, you weren't.
Yeah,
Were you?
I was on team.
Cool.
It was good times. Like it was really cool running training with your idol like at that
Yeah.
time. So oh man, I was like what 17, 16 and 17 and my fastest time was a 10:2 and 100. Yeah, and then I did the 200 and the 4. Those were like my events, but I'm not a running guy now. I'm not trying to sprint or pull a hamstring
None of that.
or do some long distance run. I'm not into that, man.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I-
Yeah,
I'm not into that either. I don't think my knees can handle that.
that's crazy. Well, so you do like powerlifting, right?
I do like more Olympic weightlifting, so I do like
Yeah.
snatch and clean and jerk. Yeah.
Wow,
So yeah, I stick to that kind of stuff. Yeah.
that's crazy.
It's so and I box once a week. Like
I'm not messing
those are the things that I focus on for my physical fitness. Yeah.
I'm not messing with you, man.
No, I'm a wuss. It's funny because I was like I was training this week and we're like kind of working more on defensive like defense. And like every time my coach would like swing at me, I'd be like closing my eyes. He's like, "What are you doing? That is like the worst thing you can do." I was like, "I don't know why I'm doing that."
You can't even see what's coming when you do that. That's
Oh, I
crazy.
know.
Even
It's
I
because
know
I don't wear my glasses when I train and I don't wear contacts either, so I can't see. And so I'm like,
Oh,
how close is like this punch to my face? I'm like,
yeah. You're just hoping for the
yeah,
best. That's crazy.
poor idea, poor idea. Yeah, he took my eyebrow off one day. I was like, ugh. I'm like, this is not fun anymore. Send me
Oh,
home.
man. That's funny. That's hilarious.
Just going back to like when you are traveling and you're like gigging. So let's say you are running low on recovery, you're tired. How does that, like, do you find that that actually affects like creativity or mood for you? And like, how do you kind of bounce back from that?
Yeah, I think well, I think there's two things. My number one goal is to get back to an anchored routine, right? So when I'm not home and I can't do that quickly, obviously, I believe in a power nap. I think those things are very effective. Like
Okay.
you gotta surrender to your body and give it the 10, 15 minutes needs because you'll just feel refreshed and good to go.
Okay.
The other thing too is I try, like I think with a lot of our peers, like especially ones that gig quite a bit, I think some of them think, oh, I'm traveling, I can eat whatever I want. So I'm very aware of what I'm eating. So I do have a diet that I try and stick to. Like there's a certain caloric intake and protein
Oh,
composition, and
nice.
I mix my carbs, right? So I just know, like I can't go on a 4 day run of eating simple carbs, right? I need to, have the protein, but make sure it's not all deep fried, and make sure I can get a good amount of veggies in there to offset the carbs. So,
So you track your food then?
oh yeah, I have. You know what? This is so simple. I tell all my people this: go pay a dietitian $70 to $100 and tell them to write up a diet plan for you, and it'll cover all 7 days of the week, and then you'll eventually get to a place of understanding what you can swap out and stuff, and know, okay, this is my higher simple carb day, this is my fats day, this is my complex carbohydrates day, for the sweet potatoes and all of that big stuff. So eventually you just start to get a hang of what will work, and you can pretty much eat anything.
So you're
And
eating more intuitively then?
well, no, I do check my diet plan every day. Okay, this is day one. Here's the makeup of it. So breakfast, like a typical breakfast for me, for example, would be two whole eggs, a cup of egg whites, tomatoes and mushrooms, and I'd have a protein shake with mango, pineapple, and you know, that's a
Yum.
pretty nice heavy protein meal without all of the bad calories attached to it, you know.
Do you eat more on training days, or do you feel like you need more fuel for when you're actually DJing?
Yeah, great question. If I'm feeling like when I'm DJing, remember, I mean, it depends. Like the sets are like 2 to 3 hours, and they're late at night too, right? So I'm not trying to eat late or be stuffed before a show. Like I actually try and stop eating at least 3 to 4 hours before
A
my
show?
my set time. Yeah, because
Do you find that
I just don't want to feel stuffed and
right?
you know.
So
But it,
like so what happens if you have like a 4 hour set then? Like how are you if you haven't eaten for 3 or 4 hours and then you've got like maybe a longer set, how are you kind of fueling yourself so you're not kind of mentally kind of,
yeah, drained. Yeah,
drained? Yeah. Because that
yeah.
takes a lot of energy DJing. Like I don't think
Oh,
people understand the amount of mental energy it takes to like
it is.
DJ.
Yeah, it is. Like I did.
It's a
I did.
lot.
Yeah, it's for sure. I did an 8 hour set in LA.
Damn.
Uh, what was that? In December last year, I think, or the year before. I can't remember. Anyway, it was 8 hour set, and mm, I just, I made sure I ate normally throughout the day. But my whole thing with sets is just staying hydrated and
Right.
not doing a whole bunch of alcohol too. Like I don't think people oh, and water. Like I drink a lot of water throughout the day. Like I always have this thing nearby me always. So staying hydrated is just a normal thing for me, and I find that works very well. Coupled with the types of supplements I take, like it's like I have amino acids. I take the whole B complex along with
Nice.
zinc, and Yeah, I'm pretty. Consistency is important. So on those days where you're gigging and it's like, oh, how do you stay energized? Like again, most of the work is done in the preparation. So really and truly, I might allow myself because shows like I'm not playing till 12 or 1 a.m. most of the time. I'll, make sure I stop eating by like 9 or 10ish.
Okay. And
And
you
then
don't snack after, right? Sorry, I didn't
I don't
interrupt
snack
you.
after I play a set.
No. Do you?
Yeah. No,
You
I
do?
mean it depends. Like, but most of the time now, not really. I got that coconut water on my rider.
So
I
it's
might
just
do.
good.
And don't get me wrong. Some good fruit too doesn't hurt.
For sure.
Because you're gonna burn those extra carbs. Like having sugar late at night is not necessarily a good thing. But if you're DJing, you're gonna burn it off. So
For
I
sure.
think coupled with a diet plan, you sort of figure out what is a nice sweet spot for you. But I'm not trying to like, and I not to say I don't do this after a show, but most of the time I'm not trying to mow down a double cheeseburger at the end of a show. Like that'd be crazy.
I used to always do that back in the day.
You
And
get
I'd
or
be
get
so
that
sick after, like the next day, I'd be
yeah,
like,
like
"Eh."
or get that street meat. Oh man, I'm trying
That's
to
what
do
she
that.
said.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say someone's newly DJing, okay? And
Mhm.
they've got back-to-back shows in two different cities. So maybe they DJ in one city and they have like an hour flight to some next city.
Yeah.
How should they be organizing maybe their sleep schedule? And then even like what would you recommend for even like nutrition maybe?
Yeah, so when it comes to the sleep schedule, I think it's just important to first and foremost always book your hotel room as close as possible to the venue. You definitely don't want to be on a hour car ride from the venue back to your hotel situation. So just try and get something that's at least within 15 minutes of the venue, because then that way you could say, all right, cool. I finished playing at 3:30. My flight is at 8 a.m. or whatever. I can get a couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours of good
Sleep.
sleep.
Yeah.
And then once you land at the airport, I always think having just the simple stuff. Get a fresh banana or something just to keep you moving. Bananas are rich in tons of nutrients, and more importantly, too, they keep your blood pressure down as well. The potassium levels in there keep your blood pressure down, and it's not hard on your digestive system. So bananas are great, and then if you can, go for the power nap during the flight. Try and do that, or get with your headphones, traveling headphones with noise cancellation, preferably. I like to listen to classical music. It's kind of funny.
No way.
But classical
Wow.
music, it does a lot for your mind, and it also helps with your thinking and slows your heart rate down too. It's really great. But yeah, try and catch a power nap. Just chill out on a plane. I think some people think, oh, if they're awake and they got a little time, they're like immediately on their phones and doing emails and stuff. Honestly, I'll tell you because I'm not trying to be on my phone for the first 2 hours of my day, any day.
Good. That's smart.
Yeah, no, and I'm not trying to look at it before I'm going to sleep. Like people just looking at their phone in the bed, just watching, like doom scrolling and watching reels and stuff. That's
I'm
not me.
so guilty of
Yeah, I know, right?
that.
I know. You know what? Because this algorithm now is your algorithm. It's how you programmed it, and they just keep pushing it to you.
I know.
It's crazy, right? But I'm not trying to do that because it does affect your sleep. So if
Oh
you're
yeah.
operating low on a gig weekend to begin with, just try and keep those things in mind. And so even if you instead of getting like 6 or 8 hours of sleep, if you get a good quality 4 hours, that's more than getting, you know, horrible quality of sleep at 2 hours, as an
So
example.
it seems like you're really good at like the whole tracking. Do you do anything like do you use any gadgets to help with like monitoring your sleep? Do you use like Whoop or Aura or anything like that?
Yeah, well, I think I don't have an Oura ring. I want to get one
Yeah.
eventually. But the beauty of having sleep apnea is that it has an application. It tells you how long you slept.
Oh, really?
Yeah, how many sleep events where you're not breathing, how many times that occurred. It just so like I like to see that data, just to know, okay, everything's cool. And that's for those people that are kind of worried about the sleep apnea thing. I'm here to tell you it's not a big deal. Like I I have one in the house here. It's a bigger unit, and there's a travel one called the Air Mini, which is super small and very discreet. I slept with that on planes, like flying to Australia recently, and it works like a charm. But it all goes to this app that shows how many hours of sleep you got.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know why I was thinking it was just like an oxygen kind of machine.
yeah. I
'Cause I've
mean,
never actually seen one in person, so I don't really know what it looks like. Like I'm trying to imagine it. I'm like,
yeah, no, it's true. Like, I mean, you could. It's not the most. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing
well, it's
thing,
not so. It's not meant to be, but like,
but it helps. Like, it's a mask
yeah,
basically. But everybody's different. Like, I don't like a whole face cover thing.
thing.
I just need it covering my nose, and that's how it works. It just shoots air into your anyway throughout your nostrils, and it helps keep your mouth closed while you're sleeping. It's great.
So my one friend sends me so many memes throughout the day, and he actually sent me one about sleep apnea and like the different masks,
Yeah,
and
this is crazy.
and but then it was like this one guy got his face like kind of replicated over his mask, so it still looked like him. But it was like the creepiest thing I
Oh
ever
yeah,
saw. I
and
was like,
yeah, yeah.
oh,
I think I've seen that. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, it's not doom and gloom with that. But anyway, that helps me track what I'm dealing with for sleep. And yeah, I'll be honest. Like sometimes the app would say you only slept 2.5 hours. Okay,
I'm
great.
deep sleep.
So that helps modify my behavior for what I'm going to do. Make sure I get a nap on a plane, and as well, the types of stuff I'm eating throughout the day. So I might carve up a bit more for the gig the next day, so to speak.
So was it the snoring that initially got you to go and get that sleep study done?
Yeah, yeah, and just people telling you like it sounds like you're trying to catch your breath while you're sleeping, which is crazy. And that sleep study is amazing because you literally go to a building and you sleep overnight, and then a doctor calls you in 2 weeks and goes over the information with you. And because, I produce music and I'm a DJ and I know what a decibel is. I remember the doctor showing me, she's like, yeah, so this is the sounds, this was what's happening throughout the night. And I saw it shoot up to like 80 decibels. And she's like, yeah, that's you snoring. And she's like, would you like to hear? And I'm like, no, I don't need to.
No.
If it's at 80 decibels, that tells me how loud it is. Like a normal conversation is 65.
Yeah.
So 80 decibels, that's like somebody yelling with their snoring. I don't need to hear that, yo. I'm good.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Imagine sleeping beside you.
Yo,
Be like,
yo,
shut up.
I'm even afraid. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of like hearing and decibels, do you get your ears checked? I didn't even I
Yeah.
just started to like explore the idea of like ear health as a DJ.
Yo,
I've never had my ears checked, and that is something I think I definitely need to do because I have a little bit of tinnitus in my one ear.
oh yeah. Like, I mean, yeah. I got on. I don't know what's. Oh yeah, that's what. got me on the ear health thing. So probably like pre, like when I started gigging more, and I was just noticing like, the air pressure, and sometimes it'd feel like full and stuff. I'm like, what's up with my ears, right? So I went to the doctor one time and was like, hey, just part of normal. That's one of the things they do, obviously, is check your ears. And my one ear, I remember they went in and he's like, oh yeah, like you got a lot of earwax in there. And they pulled out, no word of a lie, like a walnut sized chunk of earwax,
Wow.
which is massive. And because what happens, they say humans, there's two types of earwax you can get. You can either get the dry, flaky stuff, or you can get the sticky stuff like I have. And what's amazing about the human body is even if you're wearing earplugs, you're just packing it in somewhat, right? But what happens is your brain basically says, "Oh, what's that extra stuff in your ear?" Oh, well, I'm going to make sure whatever it is, which is earwax, is just there to protect your eardrum. So it starts to create this wall in your ear canal. It's insane. So long
That's
story short,
interesting.
every 6 months I go get my ears flushed just to get whatever little earwax out. And I do wear earplugs. I recently got a pair of custom earplugs, which are beautiful.
Where did you get them from, if you don't mind me asking?
I got them from Lakeview Hearing here, but here I can tell you in a bit. The actual people who produce, who take the air mold and make the earplug, I can tell you who they are in 1 second. Sensaphonics.
Okay.
So Sensa Phonics. They're really dope earplugs because it just takes the dB down. You could select how much dB you want to reduce, but you still have all of the clarity there
Okay.
with through the filter they put in the earplug, customized to your ear canal. So it's really good.
So do you wear that DJing as well?
Oh yeah, I've been wearing
Okay.
earplugs while DJing, man. God, well over 5, 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking to go get my ears checked, and definitely need to do that. So when you go get your ears,
Flush.
what flushed,
Yeah.
is it through an audiologist? Like, where are you going to get something? Is it your doctor? Like, where do you go for that?
Yeah, so in Canada, I'm sure they have both of these, but I was just going to my
Doctor.
family doctor, and
Okay.
what they would do, it'd be like this big can, and they fill it with like they fill your ear. It's incredible. It's like the size of this.
Oh
Fill,
wow.
fill your ear with like a saline solution,
Yeah.
and then the idea is that it'll go in there and sort of with the pressure that goes in, start knocking off any earwax that's just hanging around, and then they suck it out. It's much more of
Crazy.
of an intrusive process, but it does the job. However, the one I prefer, which is I've had done here in Chicago twice now because I've been here for a year. It almost looks like a gun, and it uses both a saline solution and sonar technology. So it's like beaming a frequency that vibrates your ear canal as the saline is going in, and you could just see the airwax just falling out. It's just crazy.
Wild. Oh
Yeah, and it
wow.
only takes
Okay.
like 5 minutes. It's super simple. I've been telling people, especially if you wear earplugs, you need to do this on a regular. Trust me.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, because I'm trying to get a hold of an audiologist just to even interview them for this, because I think that we probably really should be taking care of our ear health as well.
Well,
Not
yeah,
just as DJs, but even as artists on the stage, like, or
yeah,
even as club goers. Like, if you're steady going in the clubs, or even promoters, like, the
yeah,
list could just get longer and longer.
yeah. It's crazy, and it just the thing about air health that's very dangerous. Like people need to stay on top of it. Is what happens is your ears actually start to acclimate to oh, you're losing your hearing, so now this is your new level of hearing,
Right.
right?
Oh, wow.
So you don't even notice. Yeah, like the ringing is an indication of the cells are dying in your ear, and they don't come back. They only come back with birds and like chickens. Those are the only two organisms when they that are able to regenerate hearing cells, the ear cells in their ear.
Crazy. Oh, I gotta look
So
into that then.
yeah,
I'm
so
all freaked out. Thanks.
you are welcome because it is yeah, man. It's you definitely need to stay on top of it.
Oh, for sure. I appreciate all that information.
No problem. I know there's a little extra, but
No, that's
you know,
good. It's important. And I never asked this question, and I definitely need to start asking more about it, looking into it. Going back into like health and fitness, how has that kind of helped with like your line of work?
oh, it's
How
good.
like help shape like how you feel, how you are creative, like
Yeah, it's a necessity. It really is. It's a necessity, and it's really a cornerstone of my ability to create. And the reason why I say that is not from an awareness and just being having enough energy to do things and move around, but it it helps. Like you're aware of the concept of dendrites and human learning, right? So if you think about that, all of that activity needs blood flow to happen, to cause those brain connections that help you with learning and all sorts of stuff. So I found like, man, especially with the sleep apnea stuff, oh, this is what it actually is like to be fully rested and awake and not fall asleep after you eat a large meal, right?
right.
So from a creative perspective, having that energy is profound for me because just the things I'm able to think about, put to paper, and have them, come to fruition in the studio has just been like tenfold for me. Just having the energy, you know. So, and the whole training, resistance training, and doing hit, keeping my body weight at a nice level that makes me feel comfortable in my own skin. It also helps just with a certain degree of personal confidence, like I'm not saying I'm God's gift to women, but I do feel I do feel good to know that although I'm 52, I have the energy of somebody in their 30s, and having just that grounding and consistency is just really good for me
Yeah.
and quality of life. It's huge.
I also want to add to something you said about testosterone in sleep. I think a lot of people don't understand that they produce growth hormone in their sleep, and when you're not
Mm.
sleeping well enough, you are not producing enough growth hormone, which is going to help with like your growth hormone helps with recovery, but also testosterone production, and both women and men need that.
Yeah.
It can affect everything from like the amount of muscle that you're putting on, your metabolism, your even your mental health. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's
sleep
huge.
is
Yeah, it's huge. Like the testosterone. I mean, aside from some of the obvious other things as a male, um, it is huge just
right.
to have like, and it affects you behaviorally as well. Like if your testosterone's low, but yet you got this huge cortisol spikes going on, like you are not good mentally. And I do look back at some situations pre sleep apnea diagnosis, and I'm very certain that my a lot of my short fuses came from that
It
for
could
sure.
also be like if you have low testosterone, it could be you can have depressive thoughts as well.
Yeah,
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 so yeah, it's good to get your hormones checked,
yeah.
ladies and gents.
Do that blood work every year, and
Yeah,
it's such simple stuff. Because you can't address what you don't know.
absolutely.
Like, and I don't know why some people, especially in the black community as well. I can't speak for every community, but I do know in like the black West Indian community, there's this lingering. unspoken fear about getting checked out and going to the doctor on a regular basis, all in the vein of, you know, not knowing. But the point is that the more you don't know, the more you're adding to the fear component of it. So just go get it done. It's
I'd,
super easy.
I'd rather go get checked and know so that I can address whatever the issue is and then just get better from it,
Right.
hopefully.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you can give one piece of health advice to other DJs, producers, artists, just trying to stay healthy, what would it be?
Ah, the importance, do not underestimate the importance of routine. Some people will call you boring for it or a Nazi or spontaneous enough, but routine is the thing that will ground you and keep you consistent. Yeah, I can't stress its value more than that. Like just having that solid level of consistency will add years to your life. I'm very confident in that. And the other thing too, it only takes 21 days to develop a habit. It's not
That's what they
this.
say.
It's not this super difficult thing. Like the moment you decide and you say, okay, once you get to the 3 weeks, it becomes a habit, and after that, a habit becomes a part of your character, and your character speaks for itself. So
Amazing.
yeah.
Thanks. And so when you are going to the gym and training, who are some of your favorite artists you're listening to?
Oh, that's a mixed bag. Like so, I
If you can name me 5 songs you find that you're like always putting in rotation.
okay. Well,
If there are 5 songs you are always put in
I'm
rotation.
gonna just say albums. So
Okay.
definitely Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory,
Okay.
for sure.
Good
Pete
album.
Rock, CL Smooth, Mecca and the
Mecca and
Soul
the
Brother.
Soul
That
Brother. Yeah.
album is just classic.
Yeah.
A little bit of Wu Tang, but the one album that gets slept on is Jizza. Is it
Liquid
Liquid
Swords?
Swords?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people talk about that record, so I'll rock with that.
That's a good
Um,
album.
yeah, and I honestly, it's gonna sound funny, but I do listen to classical sometimes. I do.
While you're training?
Yeah, it's funny,
Damn, good
right?
for you.
Yeah, yeah, and or an audiobook. Like
Okay. Yeah, I have
I,
a friend that listens to podcasts. I'm like, I don't know if I can listen to that while I'm
yeah,
training.
yeah, like same here. Like unless it's something a topic I really want to dive into and I need that information, but I love audiobooks. I love just continuing to learn, and sometimes I'll listen to it over and over again just to make sure I've absorbed all of the learning from it. You know, but
Amazing.
that's what it is. My works honestly, my workouts are nothing more than an hour,
That's
45
good.
minutes at the most on average. Yeah,
Eh,
I'm in and
That's
out.
fine.
I'm
That's
not.
good. At least you're doing something.
Yeah,
Like, like it could be 30 minutes, it could be an hour and a half. It really depends on what you need.
yeah. And I just
Yeah.
raised that because I think some people, who haven't been working out or not, like this has been a lifestyle for us forever. Like certainly for me, I started working out when I was 16. Uh, you know, so it would just be so weird to not have that in my life. But for some people, I know people in our industry that's like a forgotten thought. Like, huh? Working out, walking? No, I don't do any of that. Well, you really need to. Like
Right.
the benefits are huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything that you do, even if it is walking, it's going to be a benefit to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Just get started.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. It's been good.
My pleasure. Oh my God, lots of gems.
Yeah, yeah.
And I learned a lot about hearing health and like also sleep apnea. Like you're like, oh, I'm sure you know. I'm like, I don't know shit about that.
Oh yeah.
I know very little. Like I know one of my clients has sleep apnea, but I've never really delved into the conversation about what's your machine like? Like what does it do? I just know that it helps
Uh,
him sleep, and I didn't know too many details about it.
Yeah, you know,
But
another interesting factoid about sleep apnea is that it affects a large population of like black men, but also Latinos and Asian men. It has to do with the skeletal construct of like your jaw and stuff. It's more like genetic stuff. And what happens over time, the tissues as you get older, they soften. So when you're snoring, that's what you're hearing is the airway, you know, between your breathing and how your jaw is shaped, uh, causing those tissues to vibrate. So it's
interesting.
mad crazy. So with all those sleep apnea things do, the CPAP machines, they're just blowing air at a consistent rate to keep your airway open.
And you never feel like overwhelmed by that.
No, I mean it took I'd say like the first week. It took me a little while getting used to it, but now it's like I throw that on when I'm taking a nap, like
Okay.
wherever I
Helps you sleep
can.
better.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, like just and just to know like I'm not having any disruptive sleep.
Which is important. Just even for mental health, even
Yeah.
for, I think even for like long-term brain health, like it's probably
Girl,
so important for heart health. Sleep
it
is
is
important for heart
huge.
health.
It is huge. Like to go back to your question on, how, this health stuff has helped my artistry. I can
Yeah.
tell you, like the brain fog that comes from
Lack of sleep.
not lack of sleep is very real. I remember times when I was working on a track and something like a simple cut and paste, like moving something around, I would just be staring at the screen for like a good half minute to a full minute. And just so, like, just to know that that happened when I look back at it, I'm like, that's crazy, man.
Right.
Like it should just be instantaneous. Just do the thing. Why am I staring at the screen?
Yeah, for sure. I understand. I used to have brain fog because I'm putting my business out there, but I'm going through perimenopause.
Oh wow.
So my hormones were really off, and like I had to have like sessions with clients that I've been training for 7, 8 years, and I'd be looking at them being like, I don't know what your name is right now. And I'd
Wow.
be like racking my brain, being like, oh my God. Like, and I'd be panicking because I'm like, I don't know what this individual's name is, and I should know this person's name. So,
That's great.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so funny. I came across somebody's profile that she is going through that. Yeah, and just very informative stuff. Like I had no idea how that, like aside from night sweats and all the other, but I didn't know about the whole emotional thing. That it's really real.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, when your hormones are off, it's going to affect your sleep,
Yeah,
especially progesterone. Yeah. And then once I got that kind of sorted out, I'm like, okay, I feel so much better now. I can think better. I can focus a lot more. I'm
good.
less emotional because my estrogen was too high. Like, it's just been very interesting these last couple of years. So,
That
yeah.
that well, good for you.
Yeah. The joys of being a woman.
The joys of being a man. Come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay. Getting older.
Oh God, I
But it's a
know.
privilege and a blessing. So,
That's true.
yeah. Well, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. It was good to see you.
Nice to see you too. We'll have to keep in touch.
Likewise. Yeah, most def.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you want to let folks know where they can reach you and if you have any upcoming gigs people can come see you at.
Yeah. I don't know when this is you're airing this, but I'll be in San Diego tomorrow on April 11th,
Okay.
and then in Toronto April 24th, and yeah, a few other shows. Asheville, North Carolina. I'll likely do another party or two here in Chicago. Yeah, so just there's always stuff going on. But the best way to get a hold of me would be on my Patreon. So patreon.com/Demuir official. And I regularly release exclusive music there, but I also do a production stream there each and every week, in addition to my masterclass courses that are available through the platform too. So check it out.
Amazing. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Cheers.
Bye.